We are back. It's been a long time because no one listens to these, but we're back with another Gamecasters adjacent episode. You've heard us talk on the show over and over and over about this potentially fictitious entity named Modern Meeple. Well, in the flesh today is Josh, who is Modern Meeple. You might think a lot of these companies have dozens of employees. I know I thought that one time when I contacted a company. I was like, can you have your marketing team reach out to this? And it's like, the marketing team, it's me. I'm the company. That is what we have with Josh from Modern Meeple. Josh, how the fuck are you, my friend?
I'm great. I'm talking to you guys, so it doesn't get any better than this.
Oh my God. I promise you it does, man. We cannot be that bar. We cannot be. Josh, we've been, pseudo working together for, how long has it been now? A year? Has it been a year?
I'm not keeping track, but yeah, I mean, time has flown by, so a year sounds appropriate.
It's been a while, so we're overdue with having Josh on the show. If you don't know, Modern Meeple, Jeff, you got some stuff there.
Well, I got all the stuff.
Look at what Modern Meeple does. This is one of the 50 or 60 things this guy does. We don't know what the hell he does or what his job is, but part of it is making these kick-ass board game component trays. Okay, and he makes them on a Lazy Susan. We don't call it the Lazy Susan though, right?
Copyright.
Yeah, right. Copyright. Look at this. Property of the Gamecasters. This gamey Susan we have here can be yours for the low price of mortgaging your house. It is the highest quality shit, dude. I have not seen board game component trays that look as nice, feel as nice, taste as nice as these things. They're incredible. How did you come up with this design?
Well, I was invited to. I wasn't in the board game scene. I didn't even know it existed. A buddy of mine that I've been friends with for 20-something years was like, "Hey, my friends have a board game weekend. You should come. I think you'd like it." So I was like, "I'm down." And I showed up at his house and it looked like Jeff's house right there. There was just like walls of games, and I was like,
what is this?
What
yes,
with you?
Yes. And I played some games, and like I can't remember. I think it was Quacks of Quedlinburg.
I was going to ask you if you remembered what game you played. That kind of stuff interests me.
I think it was Quacks. But I'm not 100%, but I'm almost positive it was Quacks. And I was like, isn't there because there's pieces all over the table. I didn't get it. I was like, what is happening? It was just like a mess. And I was like, isn't there a thing that you get, like, you guys put this stuff in that like spins so we can each just grab it? And, because we had like this one girl in our group, she brings her phone with her, and she'll stand up and she'll take a picture of like the card.
Oh, right. Yeah, the ingredients. Yeah.
The ingredients, and I was like, this is crazy. And they were like, no. Yeah, and they're like, no, but you should make something. And I was like, don't have to tell me twice. So that's how it started. Yeah, like I just I was sort of, and then they told me like about Gen Con, and that people, like, the pieces we had weren't the cardboard ones. I thought that's how the game came. They're like, these aren't even, like, these are upgraded, like, we spent $100 for these things. And I thought, I was just blown away. I was like, what do you like?
You're
what
like, people will spend that kind of money on this?
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was just, the whole day I was just like, tell me everything, So that's how I started. I just made, and then another buddy of mine was like, can you make me a dice tray? Like, I want to give dice trays away for Christmas, but he wanted it a particular size. So I made, like 5 of those. And then I tinkered with, I made the Susan, the big one, the gamey Susan. And I brought it over, and they were like, this is awesome. And it just snowballed from there. And I just,
so you say you made this, like you made this, right? This thing.
Yes.
How you didn't just go like, I can make that. What, like, you obviously work with this material somehow.
Yeah.
You have a machine or something that allows you to do this, right? What do you do in your normal life that you're able to create cool stuff like
Yeah, because
that
it's not like
exist anymore?
it's not 3D printed. I
Right.
feel like when I first see some of these things or upgraded components, everything's like 3D printed. This is not a 3D printer that made this. This is a
correct
level.
This is some high quality next level stuff here.
Which I'm glad that you said that, because I think that's one of the biggest things that I fight is if something's colorful, then people 3D printed, like that's the only option. And I believe like that, like when we go to cons or do conventions, kill it. Like people like,
right,
and all the time. They can put their hands on it and they're like, oh, I've seen this. I didn't realize it was this dense or this nice, or, no one's ever like, this is not, I thought it was shittier than this. Like no one ever. So we fight that a lot. And even I had someone message me the other day. They were like, I still didn't believe you was 3D printed until I saw the video of the machine cutting this stuff out. And I'm like, I'm not here to lie to people, Yeah, so I own another company that we custom fabricate crazy things, from, I've made props for movies and, we do stuff for the Patriots and build all kinds of, I've built rockets that people sit on and they carry through clubs that light up. It's just whatever. Yeah, I've done all kinds of crazy stuff, built all kinds of crazy stuff.
And the thing behind you were just telling us you did that.
Yeah, this is, it's just my whole, it's all a big sticker on the wall. It's just
your wife you created from this stuff.
Just right out of it. It was like weird.
I did just stir the pot. Yeah, so that's how I was previously in the business of just making whatever. So like, I'm not scared it's just normal to me to just create something from nothing. Because I was sort of in that business. So that's how I was like, all right, let me see what I can do. And the goal was to, and I just, being new in the game space, I've never played D&D. People have the stereotype of like, if you like games, you like swords and dragons and, wood and, you're just locked in your dungeon and you come out to work or whatever. So I'm sort of taking the avenue that like, I don't, I'm not a swords and dragons kind of guy.
Not
like
a basement dwelling neck bearded fuck is what
yeah. So I wanted to make it like colorful and like modern looking. Like I want you to be able to put this on your table when it's not in use and it looks nice, it's
all the time.
So that was sort of that's the avenue I'm taking. I'm trying to do, because there's other people that make component trays,
right. How can you set yourself apart? You do boutique.
Yeah, correct.
A lot of people make component trays. A lot of, there's even some Lazy Susans out there. There's a lot of stuff like this, but there is nothing that you can find. And, it sounds like I'm just a corporate shill, and maybe I am. You don't know, but there is nothing. If you holding this in your hand, like Jeff, show that the line of them again.
It's like my favorite thing that I own.
Yeah, just seeing that
is cool.
Is like I want that.
I just want to
have it, but oh my gosh, yeah, you can. Right. Oh, they're so cool looking. They're so premium. They are so high in quality. Josh has made these so this color is not just a dye, right? It is all the way throughout this entire material. So
it is essentially a dye, but it's not.
Well, I mean, it's
like,
not
we don't dip it in a color. Yeah,
correct. Like a coating, right? It's not a coating. Yeah. It's so you break it, you hit it, you chip it. It's that color is going to stay.
Correct.
Which
correct.
Is really cool. What is the material it's made of exactly?
It's basically it's wood. It's recycled wood or wood straight from the trees or whatever. But it's just ground up into almost like I don't want to say a powder, but you can see if you look at it, you can see like the speckles and stuff in there. That's some of the wood that like doesn't completely take the dye, but that's what gives it that like sweet tart type look to it.
Yeah, I like that texture actually.
I do too.
Like just the look.
It seems intentional.
And then it's just
it feels different. It feels like a synthetic. It feels like really.
That's the
than any wood I've ever felt before.
Yeah, that's the color in it, and that's because it's mixed together in it, and that's why it's sort of dense and has like a smooth feel to it. It doesn't feel like rough, like a wood or something would
and
be.
It's not it's not like the the IKEA fake wood, right? It doesn't feel like
correct.
Right.
Yeah. That's because that has a coat. That's just like a sticker heat pressed on it. That's right.
Sure.
That's what that stuff is. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a HPL or something like that. So that's kind of the goal of what we're trying to do here.
So talk to me about your product line then for Modern Meeple. So you have Modern Meeple now. You've got the Gamey Susan. You have some of these component trays. What other things are you offering?
So we have the mini as well, which is which you have one. It's a 3. So the large Susan is designed for games. You can use it outside of the realm, and it's all the products. So the more you use it, the more you're like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. But the main use of the larger Susan is for games that have individual player boards, Quacks, Tiny Towns, not Rolling Heights. Tenpenny Parks. You have your own board, Calico, and it sits in the middle, and people can easily grab stuff.
Right.
The minis are more designed for larger games where you could put one on either end of the table, and you can put components so people on either end can grab stuff. It doesn't take up as much space, or you could use it for smaller games like Cosmoctopus or something like that. Then we have the Flights, which is the 7 rack that you have. So you can buy a Gamey Susan that has 7 duo trays in it. You can buy a rack of fulls or a rack of tries. So you have different trays so you can mix and match or do whatever.
He's talking about the compartments that are within these. So you can see this is a single here. This is a duo, and then just got a try there. And then, there's even slots in the middle here. You can put cards in there. And then there's a bunch of different ones, even than these. There's some that are just like a grid that just are to hold cards, right? And then there's new ones that now hold some D&D dice, I see, with magnets.
Oh, yeah, we have the dice vaults. I haven't put those on the site yet. We've been selling those like at the shows. We're trying to do like exclusive stuff that you can only get at like conventions or whatever.
Very cool.
And then we have the Gamer's Dozen, which is 14 trays, which is long. Like when someone orders one of those, like that looks like, you think the 7 looks cool. Like when you have 14.
So cool.
I have one actually.
Yeah, let's see that.
There's some missing from it, but
but that's freaking sweet. Yeah,
so you can get like the tries, the fulls, and then order a Susan. Then you have like almost endless options.
Everything you need.
Yeah.
Awesome. So go ahead.
Then we have the Dice Throne tray, which is specific for Dice Throne.
It's gotta be. Is that like if you had to say like is that your number one seller? Is that the thing that gets people like to you the fastest? Like see that? I feel like that's the thing that it's a huge draw. It's a cool
it's the thing that sells the most, because I think it's the easiest because it's specific to a game.
Right. So
it's sort of like the longevity of that product, obviously is only going to last as long as the game does. The Susans are for any game, but it's hard to if you don't show people
people have to use
then they don't. So like I've had some influencers I've sent this in there, and they're like, this is only for Quacks of Quedlingburg. It's not, and you're like, no, you're like, that's not it. So that's the Dice Throne trays there. And that just became, I played Dice Throne at my buddy's house at his thing, and I just loved it. And I was like, this game is so awesome. We just had a blast with it. But I was like, the pieces are all over the table, and I didn't understand. So this just kind of puts everything neatly in one place.
In one spot.
So that's fun. And then the newest thing we have is the player ones, which are, I don't know, it's a year old now, but yeah, that's so. And this is again, so our hexes, any of our hexes fit in there. You can mix it. Yeah, there's she's so awesome.
I want to put a picture of me and her. Like,
yeah. It looks like you're all on the same thing. Yeah, she's got the D&D one too. Yeah, so talk about the player ones. What do we got here?
So this a friend of mine was like, you should make these individual player boards. They're great for, games like Twilight Imperium or something where you just got a lot of pieces, you got cards in there for you. So you're not just putting in little piles in front of you.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I have some scrap from doing the dice throne trays. I was trying to find a use for that and not wasting it. And that's the reason why it's the size it is just because I was constrained to those dimensions. And then at first, I wanted to, like what he showed me, it had different pockets and whatever in it. And I'm like, how can I make this like universal so I don't have to make, because what he showed me was someone on Etsy and they just had like 5 different versions, different pockets, whatever. So I'm like, man, I wonder if I can use the hexes and you can insert them and you can make it whatever you want. Yep. And I made this and I sent him a picture and he was like, dude, nailed it. Yeah, he was so pumped. He was so pumped.
About these trays, like there's only 2 of them. They can hold so much.
Yeah, like you can swap it out and just be like,
yes.
Now I have 4 compartments. Now I have 6 compartments.
Yeah. You can sometimes you can take, if you have a dice vault, you can put the vault on one side and the full on the other, and you can just use it to roll, like sometimes I'll use it if we're playing Cubitos or something, I'll put all my dice in one side and I'll just use that as like a little roll tray. Cause you have to go from like the ones you picked to the rolling ones to the one you use. And I just use those trays to go back and forth in it. And I'm trying to like provide some value. Like the goal is to that whatever I make, you can, if you already have a Susan, you can just use those trays with this. They fit in it.
Everything fits together. That's a great model.
Everything fits. Yeah.
All interchangeable.
So like I've got some other stuff we're working on. Like we're working on some card decks that hold decks of cards that I thought I solved that problem, but I'm running into like variances with the acrylic. Like, the CNC cuts a perfect 1/8 inch groove, but when you order acrylic that's 1/8 inch, it has a tolerance, and sometimes it's thinner and sometimes it's fatter. So I'm finding that some pieces don't fit in, and I can't, for me to check every piece and see if it fits, and before I send it out is just too much. So I have to figure out like, when I laser out 100 of these, that they're all fit instead of me peeling the paper, clicking it in. So like I've solved the issue for me, but to mass produce it, I haven't figured that out yet. Sure. And this is on Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, baby. So you are doing a Kickstarter.
Nightmare.
Going on right now. Is it really a nightmare?
This thing, like I made 50 of these and I took them to PAX Unplugged last year, sold out of them in the first day, gone. And I was like, I got something here. I thought that you needed, if you were to kickstart something, it had to be new, because the first trade show I ever did, Kickstarter and GameFound came up to me and was like, why didn't you kickstart this? And I was just naive. I didn't know it existed. And and he's like, well, so then I went to use like GameFound, and they were like, well, you have to make something different now because you've already sold this. And I was like, yeah, but like 5 people have this thing,
right.
But so then I thought I had to create something new, and then understanding Kickstarter, like, I understood it as you're trying to raise money to make the thing. But I didn't need the money to make it. I am already there. So I didn't understand it. And then people tell me it's a marketing thing. So long story short, I hired a company to like do this for me, and they just dropped the ball, and they didn't do nothing. They gave me my money back.
At least.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be the whole, like I was supposed to kickstart everything. You could get a Susan, a mini, you can get a whole system, like all this stuff. And then I was like, I just want to get these to market. I don't want to go to PAX Unplugged this year without being able to sell these. So I just did a small thing, just to get it out there. And I took, establish a relationship that as soon as this is over and as soon as you do your pledge, they're shipping out, because you don't have to wait for overseas. I make the things. I want people to know that, like, if you want to get these for summer, Christmas, like you'll have it.
You'll have it immediately.
You'll have it immediately. Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's sort of the point.
That is something that typical Kickstarter backers are not used to, right?
Correct.
I have Kickstarters I'm waiting on that I backed from like 2019. You know what I mean? So that's really cool that you can do that. So this Player One board is kind of the hallmark then of your Kickstarter site, because you had to do something new.
Yeah, which I found out that wasn't the case, but it's just like a lot of misinformation. I don't. I'm very good at making things and designing stuff, but I've never done Kickstarter. I don't understand like ads and running ads and like marketing. I just don't know how it works and all the internal. So, So I'm just limping through this, to be honest with you.
As you go, yeah.
I'm just learning as I go.
I see the ads for it on Instagram all the time.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm literally just, if you want, like, I would try to run an ad. I don't even. There's so many questions it asks you and wants you to know, and like all this stuff, and then you're like, all right, you figured out, and then I would like, all right, start. Run it, and then it's like your card needs to be verified, and you're like all right,
okay.
So then you go, you have to. It's like we charge your card $1, and you have to put this code in, and I would do it, and then it would just reset everything, and I was. So then I finally figured it out, and then I'd go to run a post on Instagram, and then same thing, but how I figured it out before is I just deleted the card and just re-put it on. So now it's trying to tell me it needs to do this on Instagram, but it's like it's the same. I thought Facebook and Instagram were the same company. So then did the same thing. I was like, I'll just delete the card and repot it. So I delete the card, but then it's like you deleted the card that you're running ads on Facebook. So then it killed
that
those.
Doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, dude, a hell of a time. So
you're still almost funded.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know it's not doing as well as I had hoped, and I know why, because I just, I don't know what I'm doing here. I sold more of these the first day at PAX Unplugged with zero, just people walking by. Sure. So I'm sort of struggling through it. So
at a convention, people are inherently just walking by. If you don't market properly a Kickstarter, they don't even know it's happening.
Correct.
Until it's over. So that's
because Kickstarter is just so it's just so flooded. There's so much. But I think once these people, whether you have 50 backers or you have 300, once they're in their hands, a lot of people might just be ordering 1 or 2 of these Player 2s. They're gonna want 5 more trays. They're having just this is awesome, but having the collection of trays is what I love the most. I put them out every single game. I'll put 3 things in them. Ryan knows we were playing. It was Nerd Fest, a basement Nerd Fest, not our big one. Where I was like, I'm only playing games that I can use the trays in.
Yeah. Because we were we got to get them in pictures here.
Yeah,
we got to do our part
only
for you.
Playing tray games, and it was. Once people just start touching it and having it, this Kickstarter can just be the first, right? The first of
That's what I'm trying to. That's what it's my first one. I don't, whatever. It is what it is. I've learned a lot. I know sort of what to expect now. But I still think it's something.
It's the same thing I always say about our show is I feel like it's attributable to this. It's this stuff is incredible. People just need to know it's there. And then once they do, repeat customers. I will always get every single thing you put out. You know what I mean? like this player one, I'm a backer. I'm gonna grab.
I appreciate it.
You know,
I appreciate it.
No matter what you put out, I'm gonna get because they're just freaking cool. Everything is so awesome. And I need this. This is a great thing for me to have because I have some. I think I got them from actually BoardGameGeek.com. They're like they're trays that go in front of just you. You know, they're made of like silicone, and they have like a couple wells and then a card thing. But look at this thing.
Those
look at
things
this
are
picture here.
Pieces of garbage in comparison.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Those would see this and they would just be like, I'm gonna burn myself in a fire. Look how awesome.
And Ryan, like these are I use these ones for like games that, and honestly, did you just get the two? Like you and Natalie using them for like your heavier game nights?
I am the
like,
duo gamer, I think is what it's called.
Okay. Yeah, Devin, for like Ark Nova, for Underwater Cities, for Lost Ruins of Arnak. These things are like perfect because your cards just sit there and it's a game where you're just collecting crap, right? Here's my gold. And you just like lay them out there and it's there instead of piles. Or the Board Game Geek thing was fine for a minute and then you realize like, okay, this is way better.
I don't ever use them.
Silicone cups or whatever that people buy at the dollar store. Like they're fine for a second, but I feel like once you like see this, you're like, I'm not putting my bits in that plastic garbage. I want that.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing. It's opulence. It's pure.
I gave
opulence.
all my trays. I have those. They were like I don't remember what they're called. The black just trays. It might be trays with a Z or something. And they were pretty popular. And I bought like 20 of them online once, and they're 4 bits. And I as soon as I got all this stuff, I was like, I just sent them all to Dave.
That again.
I gave them all to Dave. I'm like, wait, we're using at your house.
You are contractually obligated to not use anything other than these as well, Jeff. So don't.
I mean, I have this nice table. I'm not gonna put crappy stuff on it.
Well, that's the thing.
I appreciate it.
Just elevates and upgrades. It elevates the look of everything. So these are not cheap in any way. They're not cheap looking. They're not cheap construction wise. They're not cheap. And because of that, they're not cheap. Pricely cheap, you know what I mean? And so you get what you pay for in this world, and these things you get what you pay for. They're not inexpensive, but they're also not. I would never say that these are overpriced ever. You get what you pay for here. If you are looking for something really nice to have on your table that makes you feel better about the games you're playing because you're a big fucking nerd, these are going to make you feel a little bit better about yourself playing with them, and you will never regret them. Like Jeff says, he uses them, and he's not lying. He's not blowing smoke here.
No,
Josh. Jeff uses these every single time he plays any game he plays.
They're in his pictures. I haven't been great about always tagging Josh on Instagram, but if you scroll, they're in almost every single one of my posts.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to tag.
But it's just they're just there. I'm like, it even looks good in a picture, for people who do this social media garbage,
especially
creative pictures.
Yeah, I have people that message me on Instagram that will I want these for my pictures. They're so colorful, and they'll have they already have Wormwood's hexes in there. I'm like, what do you want? And they're like, well, they don't hold as much stuff, and they're not colorful. So I'm like, all right.
I will on Mondays, we're goofy where it's the gold. Well, you got to do the yellow one.
Yep, yellow one goes.
You're not putting the gold in the blue one. What?
Yeah.
What am I, an idiot?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it looks when you match the bits with the color, it just looks so
great.
Nice. Yeah,
opulent.
And
it's pure opulent.
It's opulent. Yeah. And the gameplay, it makes the gameplay faster. That's another thing I like about it is people that probably don't think about it is now you don't have a resource banker anymore, so you don't have to ask Samantha to pass you the cold every time. You can just spin the thing, grab it yourself, and then no one's asking you what the resources do. What does this do? What's that do? They everyone can just sort of sort everything out for themselves, so it makes the gameplay go by quicker. So you log more games on BGG.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody out there has 19 more days as of the date of this recording. You have 19 days to go to get yourself some Player One boards, Gamey Susans, and like Josh said, as soon as this campaign ends, it will basically be in your hands. You're going to have them. He's going to make them and send them immediately.
I heard
I already got a bunch made.
He's driving them to you.
Yeah,
he's driving them to you. He's gonna jump out of a plane actually and hand deliver them to you like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That's way in the plane that he built for some reason.
That'd be a good ad campaign for sure.
Yeah, it really would. So you in the Gamecasters community are going to hear more from Josh. Josh and I have been talking about some potential ideas we have for some modern Meeple-esque segments that you can look forward to. We're going to see more and hear more of Josh, and I mean, look at him. He's the younger, better looking Ryan. So we can definitely say that we love this. Josh, thank you so much, man, for coming on and hanging out. And great. I wish nothing but success to you, and hopefully this Kickstarter, allows you to buy that gold-plated lion statue that you've had your eye on.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to get out of the red. That's all.
Hopefully this Kickstarter puts you in the black.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's just brand recognition is what I'm working on. I have all the back end sorted out, and the manufacturing and all that stuff. So I just want people to know that we're trying to I know this stuff isn't super. It's not super inexpensive. It's not we're not way up there with like wormwood prices, but we're definitely not silicone cup tray price. But the stuff will last you forever. You can use it with almost any game, and the goal is to anything we make will. We don't want to make anything that you've bought previously obsolete. Like that's the goal is it always is going to fit in that hex form factor so that, there's a lot of value that's provided there. So
you get what you pay for, you know what I mean? Again, you definitely get what you pay for with these. And what you're getting with these is you'll never regret paying that. You'll never regret that.
No,
they are so fantastic. And Josh, I think you got a great thing here. And I'm really happy that we're working together, and I just can't wait to see what you do next, because I'm excited for the next thing. I want there to be a million modern Meeple, products that just are in everybody's room.
Yes. Yeah, me too. Yeah, for sure. We're getting there, and I'm sure. Hopefully, over the years, we'll have more of these conversations, and we got to get you to a con. I've said this to you a million times. You got to do a live show at the cons or something. You got to do it.
Yes. Well, we do have some really big news that we'll unveil in a little bit about NerdFest coming up next year. I don't think I've even told you, Josh. I'll mention that off recording.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that could be something happening. So awesome. Well, thanks, man, and thanks everybody for listening, watching, whatever we do with this. And until next time, I'm Ryan. That's Jeff, and with us is Josh, and we will see you later.
Thank you.